A 34-year-old woman shared a painful experience from her marriage. Her husband had been married before. His first wife was his high school sweetheart. They had been together for many years, stayed committed through college, and got married shortly after graduation. Sadly, she passed away unexpectedly at the age of 26. Her death devastated him, and it took him years to recover from the loss. About 4 years later, he met the woman who would become his second wife. They fell in love, got married, and eventually had 2 children together. Their marriage was loving, stable, and happy. One evening, they attended a dinner gathering with friends. The conversation eventually turned to relationships and marriage. People began sharing stories about past relationships and life experiences. During the discussion, the woman mentioned how grateful she was to have met her husband. She said that she had never expected to find such a loving partner because her previous experiences with relationships had been disappointing. A little later, her husband started talking about his late wife. Everyone at the table knew about his previous marriage and the tragedy he had experienced. Then, he said something that instantly changed the mood in the room. If my first wife walked through that door right now, I would pick up where we left off. The room became silent. The woman felt completely crushed. It felt like her heart had been shattered in front of everyone. Although she forced a laugh to avoid creating a scene, it was obvious that the comment had hurt her deeply. She could not stop thinking about what he had said. If he still felt that way, why had he married her? She had never expected him to forget his first wife. She understood that losing someone you love leaves a permanent scar. However, she believed there were some thoughts that should never be spoken out loud, especially in front of a current spouse. After the gathering ended, the couple drove home in silence. She barely spoke during the ride home and spent most of the evening avoiding conversation. Before going to sleep, she told him that his words had deeply hurt her and that she needed time to calm down before discussing it further. She ended up sleeping on the couch. The next morning, after a sleepless night, they finally sat down and talked. She began by explaining that she did not hate him. She told him she understood how much he had loved his first wife and that she would never ask him to erase those memories. She acknowledged that if his first wife had never died, the two of them probably would never have met. But she also explained how painful his statement had been. She told him that what he said made it sound as if he would leave her and their children if his late wife somehow returned. According to her, it was one of the most hurtful things anyone had ever said to her. She then told him that it was obvious he was still carrying unresolved pain and grief from that loss. She suggested that he seek professional counseling and that they attend couples therapy together. Her husband immediately became emotional. He apologized repeatedly and admitted that he had spoken without thinking. He said he never intended to hurt or embarrass her. He explained that after thinking about it, he realized he should have kept those thoughts to himself. He insisted that he would never abandon his wife or children. According to him, the comment was poorly worded and spoken without considering how it would sound to others. The woman then asked him how he would feel if she had said something similar. He admitted that he would have been hurt as well. He agreed that he should never have said it and that he should have apologized immediately after making the comment. Then she brought up their children. She explained that his statement did not only affect her. It also implied that he would walk away from his children if his previous life suddenly returned. That realization made the conversation even more uncomfortable. After a long silence, he asked whether she wanted a divorce. Instead of answering directly, she explained that the issue was no longer just about a single comment. She wanted to know whether he was willing to take responsibility, make changes, and put effort into repairing the damage. She told him that if he refused counseling or dismissed her feelings, she would see that as a sign that he was not taking the situation seriously. Fortunately, he agreed to both individual counseling and couples therapy. Because their children were spending the weekend with relatives, the couple had time to focus on the conversation without distractions. Throughout the day, he continued apologizing. He repeatedly told her that he loved her. He also noticed that she had barely eaten because she was so upset. Later that day, they sat down together again. During dinner, he showed her a list of counselors he had already researched on his own and asked for her opinion. That effort meant a lot to her because it showed that he was taking the situation seriously. She told him that she did not want endless apologies. What she wanted was action, effort, and meaningful change. Although she was still hurt, she made it clear that she did not want to immediately end the marriage. She believed that relationships should be given a chance when both people are willing to work on their problems. She also reflected on the years they had spent together. Her husband had always been loving, caring, supportive, and romantic. He had never treated her poorly. Because of that, she found it difficult to believe that he truly wanted someone else over her. Instead, she felt that his grief from losing his first wife had never been fully healed. Many people had suggested that he did not really love her, but she did not believe that was true. She admitted that she had cried a lot while thinking about everything that had happened. She had worried about her future, her marriage, and her children. Still, she was not staying in the relationship just because of the kids. She was staying because she genuinely wanted to try to fix what was broken. In her mind, if the marriage could not be saved, at least she would know that she had done everything she could. She remembered how kind and affectionate her husband had always been throughout their relationship. When they first started dating, he would plan thoughtful dates, surprise her with little gestures, and proudly talk about her to his friends. They had never been the type of couple who constantly argued or yelled at each other. That was one of the reasons she was so confused by what he had said. It felt completely out of character for him. She even considered finding a counselor for herself. Not because she thought she needed one urgently, but because she did not want the situation to turn into resentment or self-doubt. She wanted to process her feelings in a healthy way rather than allowing them to slowly damage the relationship. She also shared that several people had reached out to her after the gathering. Those who had witnessed the comment told her they felt sorry for what had happened and agreed that the statement was inappropriate. Some of her husband's friends also contacted him. Many of them told him that while his feelings might have been understandable, saying those thoughts out loud in front of his wife was a serious mistake. Their support and kindness meant a lot to her during such an emotional time. Before ending the conversation, she told her husband that she loved him. She explained that despite everything, she had never stopped loving him, even for a moment. She was not trying to punish him or make him suffer. She simply wanted him to understand how deeply his words had hurt her. She needed him to acknowledge the damage and show through his actions that he was willing to repair it. By the end of the conversation, both of them agreed that rebuilding trust would take time. The husband promised to continue counseling and work on himself. The wife decided to stay and see whether real change would happen. Neither of them believed that everything was magically fixed overnight. However, they both agreed that their marriage was worth fighting for. For now, they chose to move forward together, hoping that honesty, effort, and healing would help them rebuild the trust that had been damaged and create a stronger future for their family. Stronger future.